Up until the moment I filmed, I was still debating on which one was my favorite palette of the year. And thanks so much for joining me for my favorites of 2025. If you are watching this on the day it posts, from my family to yours, very Merry Christmas. Thank you so much for spending some of your day with me, and I hope you enjoyed this video because we are talking all about the favorites of 2025. They are not necessarily new products this year, but they are my favorites. Some are really old favorites that keep coming back, and some are new this year. Actually, I think there was a surprise favorite. I think it was also a surprise to me because I didn't think I'd love it as much as I do. So let's just go ahead and get started with primers. I have two different items that I primed with. One is a technical primer and the other one is an SPF that I use as a primer. So this is a repeat. This is the Mattifying Primer. I love it for controlling oil, for making this a smoother canvas, and it helps makeup adhere and it lasts longer too. So let me show you the texture. And here is the packaging if you've never seen this before. And we also have here the texture. And that has been a yearly favorite, an annual favorite in the past. So that is on this side of my face, right here in the center. Oh, we are doing a get ready with me as well. So tune into that video. That will be I think it'll be the next one up. There might be some shorts in between, but I think like in a couple days that one will show up. Oh, and also you should be seeing some shopping tabs here. It's to help with convenience while you view this. So you can click on the item and it will expand it. You can still watch the video. That's the advantage of clicking on those tabs, because you can continue watching instead of having to go to the link, stop the video, and then come back. So if you don't like those though, there are 3 dots there. You should be able to click on that and also dismiss them if you don't want to see them. And then they're listed below as well. So thank you so much for using those if you are. The other primer that I have on my face, again, is SPF. It's very important to me. We'll be talking about skincare. It'll probably be the first video in 2026 where I talk about my skincare favorites. You know, I love skincare. I think it is very important to the overall look of the makeup because goes on easier, looks better, less makeup needs to be applied, all of those great things. By the way, I did start with, because I forgot to talk about this in the Get Ready With Me, I have the Chantecaille Bio Lifting Serum on. I have that because this does not interfere with makeup. So I've had skincare before where it will interfere with application. I have not experienced that with the Chantecaille products. This is the Bio Lifting Cream Plus, which is what I applied over the serum. So really great hydrating moisturizer, and it feels a little bit like my skin feels plumper after this as well. I also have the Bio Lifting Eye Cream on, so that's what I prepped with. So over here though, we have this little tiny SUPERGOOP matte screen. I ordered this during the Sephora sale and didn't realize it was a tiny version, but it is also something I'll use all the way up. So this is a mineral SPF, it's SPF 40. So they have lots of different SPF products, but this is the one that I like because it's matte. And that's why I enjoyed this one, because I can get oily in the center. I have combo skin, so more oily in the center, especially in the summer or when it's hot. And then on the exterior, it's more normal. This is why I like this product. It also serves as a really nice primer. So I've got that on this side all over my face. So there's that primer texture. You can see it's got a little bit of color to it as well. Okay, moving on to foundation. I do not love foundation. I've been saying that for a while now. If I didn't need to wear foundation, I would not. If I had an even skin tone and I didn't need a little bit of blurring and perfecting, we'd just skip this altogether. But I do like a very thin layer of foundation. I like it to look like second skin. I don't want it to move around all over the place. I want it to look better the longer I wear it. And this is what this product does. This has been a favorite in the past as well. So of all the foundations I've continued to try, this one still rises above because it's a thin layer. It lasts a long time. It can set itself. It does great in various temperatures, especially in the heat. This one performs really well. Some of you have all 3 of these complexion products by Chantecaille, and you also say this one does really well in the heat. So this is the Chantecaille cushion, not a surprise. I really feel like there isn't a competitor for this, and this one works really well on SPF because, actually one of you clued me into this, that this is probably a really good idea for SPF because it won't move it around. There is this applicator in here, so it can just be pressed on versus a brush, which has the potential to move SPF around underneath it and displace it. So I really want to keep that SPF in place. That is a big part of my skincare, is all the improvement that I get with my skincare. I want to preserve it with that SPF. So that's why it's really important to me to keep that SPF intact. So this really helps with that, so I'm not swirling it around. This is in the shade Wheat, and you can see here, it is a little bit more color than what I am. And you'll see in the Get Ready With Me, it's also a bit warmer and a bit more olive. So if you have more olive warm tones than me, I am BD41 in Chanel, and that's actually a little bit warm for me as well. Like B40 is a pretty good shade match. I think I wore that in the Chanel video, so if you want to see that. I can also use the tone lighter than this. It's a little bit more neutral, but this one works really well over SPF. So I have it over SPF here, and I have it over the primer here. And so by the time I apply it, you can't really tell where I have SPF and where I don't have SPF. And the shade here is Wheat. And you can see that shade Wheat here as well on the sponge. And I'll swatch it too, just so you can see, but it's pretty much the shade of the back of my hand, so you're probably not going to see it that well, but maybe it'll help when we start talking about concealers and you can kind of see a comparison. So this is a great airtight container, and then if I don't lose the sponge or that little applicator, then that helps. Sometimes that rolls away and I never see it again. There it is, hard to see, but there it is, Wheat. Okay, maybe you can see better now. That's Wheat. It really has a second skin-like finish, not too glowy and not too matte. So it really does mimic the finish of my actual natural skin. That's another reason why it's a little bit more natural looking, is because it has a similar finish to the way my skin would look without makeup. Then moving on to concealers. So I have two concealers here. One is this Le Camouflage STYLO. This is by Chantecaille, and I have mine in 4C. It's got a brush on it, which I love, and I used it under the eye here, and I used it for the dark spots because the foundation, once that went down, you really couldn't see that much discoloration. So I used it there, but I also went in with another concealer that I'm sure you know what it is already, but I wanted to show you the swatches. So this is 4C by Chantecaille, and I'll show you a close-up in a moment after I show you the next one. The second concealer that I went in, because I have these scars from a little like breakout that I had, a random breakout, but I scar very easily and it's very dark when I scar. So I applied it here and it acts as a bit of an eraser. It is the CdP concealer. So this one is in Honey. So those are my concealers, Le Camouflage STYLO and CdP. So you can see there the foundation in Wheat. This is the Le Camouflage STYLO by Chantecaille in 4C. And this is the CdP concealer in Honey. So you can see how they all work together. The Chantecaille concealer, this one, is more fluid, very natural. So I love this for the under eye area because it is very hydrating still at the same time, so it doesn't look dry under the eye. And I love it for these dark spots when I'm not wearing a lot of makeup because it does have a second skin-like finish. And then the CdP is like a virtual eraser. It just does the best job of covering up, especially more severe discoloration, with not a lot of makeup. So it doesn't get cakey, it doesn't look obvious, it wears well over time, it meshes with the skin. Some concealers can sit on top of skin, which I don't really love. Like, it might look great on camera, but in person it's like, whoa, that does not look great. It looks like orange peel almost. This one does mesh really beautifully with skin and does look better over time as well. Then we've got a few powders. So I powdered to set with one of the most beautiful, most silky powders. It's translucent. It does the job of a powder by keeping everything in place without looking like dough. Because I feel like some powders, when they get mixed with moisture, that's why I say it looks like dough. It's when you mix flour with water, it has like a doughy appearance. This one doesn't do that. This is a CdP, and it's their pressed powder. So it's got like a pinkier tone. This is the old packaging, but the new product in here, because I felt like I don't need the new packaging for that product. Here it is. Is. I'll show you up close in a moment, but even just swatching it, it just feels so silky. And then we went in with, of course, we can't go without this. This is probably going to be here until it's either not available anymore or until I'm done doing YouTube, but this is the Perfect Blur Powder. This one doesn't really have a competitor. I've never found a powder that approximates this, maybe the Sisley, which you can also use under foundation, which is really interesting, but it doesn't have this brightening effect that this does because of that peach tone. The Sisley has a little bit more of like an olive tone to it. So if you're looking to brighten your skin a little bit, especially discoloration, this does a great job. Also helps improve the appearance of the surface of the skin because it has a bit of texture to it, and that it'll kind of like, this doesn't sound great, but it kind of like fills in those places so it looks smoother. So I've got this in light medium here. Yeah, this, I've loved this ever since they came out with it, with the Hummingbird collection. And then this third powder is like a callback to my very first YouTube video, which was on Hourglass. So this was the Hourglass powder that I featured, although the other one that I featured for that first video was Radiant Light. And if you have not heard this story, and if you look back on that first video, I'm very glowy. It's almost like a disco ball because I was new to YouTube and I just kept retaking and retaking every time I would be applying it. So I don't even know how much I applied, but by the time it was done, it was so glowy. It's because I had maybe, I don't know, 10 takes or something like that by the time I got it right. So if you see that one, that's why it's so extra glowy. But this one is in dim light. So you can see here, dim light. I'll show you here first. So we've got here the Clé de Peau, the Chantecaille in light medium, and then Hourglass in dim light. And dim light has more glow to it. So if you're looking for something glowy that also blurs, doesn't do as much to the surface of the skin as the Chantecaille does in terms of it improving the appearance of the surface of the skin, in terms of smoothness. It doesn't do that as much as it does blur. It also refracts the light really gently with some very soft glow type particles in it. So you'll see it has a very similar glow to the blush I'll be talking about. So this is what I have on this. So I've got the Chantecaille on this side, Perfect Blur Powder, and I have the Hourglass Dim Light on this side. Clé de Peau, Translucent, Chantecaille Light Medium, and Hourglass Dim Light. So you can see them all there. Really beautiful powders. Powder can really hide a lot of things that maybe didn't go well with application, and also powder can ruin all the work that was done before that if it's not a great powder. So it's a really important step to me. Like that Chanel powder that I mentioned in the Chanel video, like I would not apply it because it would definitely take away all of the work that I did before that. So it's really important for me to pick the right powders. And since we're on powdery type products, the bronzer I use today is a powder product, and I love this because it's so unique. There really isn't another bronzer that I've found out there that has this tone. It's warm, it's golden, and there are very few golden leaning bronzers out there. I see them leaning terracotta. I see them leaning more red. So this one though has a beautiful golden tone. So if you are similar to my tone or maybe more warm and you're looking for a bronzer that is not competing with your complexion, this is the Hermes bronzer in Atlas. I feel like that I'm not sure what's happening with this. It seems to be difficult to find, but hopefully maybe it's just an inventory issue that they're trying to restock. I don't know, but it is stunning and I am happy with this every time I use it. So this is the color again, 02 Atlas. This also is very silky feeling. Reminds me a lot of the texture of that Clé de Peau powder, which is really impressive. Having the chance to swatch so many of these premium products, there is a very slight difference with powder products, but you can definitely feel them once you have a chance to experiment with them a little bit. This is another thing that's going to look very similar to the back of my hand because it's essentially the same color, but it does show up as a bronzer, which I have on here. My face is lighter than my hands and also more, a little bit more pink than my hands. My hands are more olive. So that is 02 Atlas. And hopefully you can see it here as well. I went in with a few brow products today. This is definitely a new to me or newer to me product, but I love good brow gels that can hold my brows in place. My brows are coarse. They like to go in the direction they want to go in. So it's kind of hard to get them to go all in the same direction. I also want to avoid flaking or buildup or it looking too makeup-like. So I found these. These are by Kosas, and these are the Air Brow. I do have two shades, brown black and gray, so I applied brown black all over and then gray towards the center so it's less severe looking. And these are the shades there. You can see we have, those are the products. And I do like to perfect, so I went in with this Baby Blade by Victoria Beckham. It really is such a precise pencil. This is in Taupe. I used it at the beginning of my brows just to fill in slightly. Like there were a couple of spots that just needed to be filled in, but it was very minimal. But a little goes a long way. That's kind of the name of the game with the makeup that I enjoy. Little makeup goes a long way. I don't use too much, but I use it strategically. I think this is the part where it's a little bit surprising. Up until the moment I filmed, I was still debating on which one was my favorite palette of the year. I'll show you the two I was considering. This one is by CdP. You have heard about this palette because I love it so much. It is just such a beautiful, elegant palette. It doesn't ever look like too much makeup. It always looks refined and just pretty. It enhances features. It doesn't overtake features or distract from the face. So this is 3 Sun-Dried Driftwood. It resembles Tissé Rivoli by Chanel. This is a bit more refined though, and also has this shade here that is, you can see it's reflecting the light. That one is a primer shade, still a favorite. However, my thing this year has been like no makeup or the appearance of no makeup. I mean, I'm always wearing something, either to protect my skin from the sun, SPF, and my SPF products are also makeup products. So if you haven't seen my everyday makeup, they are makeup SPF products. This one really exemplifies, I think, my aesthetic right now. This is a palette that you can barely see. And I know you can barely see it. It's not for someone who loves all kinds of colors in their eyeshadow. It's not for someone who likes obvious makeup. This is for the very subtle makeup lover, which is me right now. I love to look like I didn't spend much time on my makeup, although I have to say, I didn't actually spend that much time on my makeup today. It's because there isn't that much that can go wrong with this palette. It's this one. This is the one that some of you discouraged me from picking up because you said you cannot see this palette. And I agree to a degree with that because yes, you cannot see the colors, but you can see the result. And that is exactly what I love about this palette. I have it on my eyes today, and in the Get Ready With Me, you'll see the effect that this has on my eyelids. It is very similar to my coloring. It just is a slight cool version, and then the satin on this is very gentle. It's not matte, but it is a very gentle satin glow. No detectable particles, which you know I do not enjoy detectable particles. So this is what it looks like. This is 7 Peony. And this one, let me just swatch all the colors for you. I don't really use this, actually that's a little bit bright for me. I use this one mainly, this deeper shade, which isn't actually deep. It's like a little bit more mocha. Reminds me a lot of Sylvie in the Mermaid Matte shade by Chantecaille, which you may be familiar with. And then I just will pick one of these colors, like either this one, which has more dimension to it, I think, than this other one right here is a little bit more mauvey, and it doesn't look pink on my eyes. I don't love pink eyeshadow, and half of this looks like it's pink, but it really does not show up that way on me, but mainly I use that. So I love that that looks like it's got the most because that is the one that I use the most. And sometimes I just go in with that one shade. That is in 07. And this is what the palette, you can see, I use this a lot. And then here is the swatch. Yes, very imperceptible, I know, but I love that about it. I feel like with makeup as well as a lot of other things, timing is everything, and this is the right palette at the right time for me. I may not love this palette in a couple of years, we'll see, but right now I love it, I enjoy using it, I look forward to using it, I love the results, and that's what I have on my eyes today. I also did go in with eyeliner, so I love a good eyeliner. I love eyeliners that can enhance brown eyes, because brown eyes I feel like aren't really evident all the time. They just look really dark and you can't really see an actual color. So I look for eyeliners that will enhance brown eyes. I think I saw a little video of like brown eyes in the sun. You can see it more clearly. I also noticed I can enhance brown eyes with the right eyeliner. So eyeliner not to see it, but eyeliner to enhance the color. So I go really close to the lash line, and I love blue tones. So I have on here like a dark blue, but not super dark blue either, which is why I think this is a little bit of an unusual color, because you can see that it is still blue, but it enhances the eyes. This is by Victoria Beckham, and it is, I believe this may have been a favorite as well. I don't look back on my favorites the previous year. I don't know why. I don't ever compare, but maybe you recently saw it, but this is Jeans. So one thing I love about this, it has this sponge applicator, and that's really what pushed it. In addition to the blue, this pushes it over the edge because I love smudging my eyeliner out so it is soft. I don't love on me a very graphic eyeliner. It's not my style. I want it soft. Of course, lots of soft makeup here. And this is the color. It's really pretty. And you'll see it's like a denim blue, which is why it's called Jeans. It's not like a navy blue, but it's got like a little bit more subtlety to it than like a deep navy. So here is the color Jeans by Victoria Beckham. Moving on to blush. I went a little overboard with blush, but I love this one so much. That's probably why I just kept applying it. This is always so fun to apply. I feel like it always brings life to my face. There's a slight glow to this, and it's a great color. It's on the warmer side, but because I am warm with neutral undertones, it appears a little bit more pink than I think it actually is. But also it looks very different when you first open this versus how it looks now. But this is my second, I believe I hit pan on the first one. This is my second one I purchased. Hopefully this still will continue to be available, because I find that, and you have found also, that it is more difficult to find. So this is the Valentino blush. This one right here in 9. You can see there's number 9. And now that I'm swatching it, this is not only silky, but it's also a bit creamy, and I think that's the key to this, and the slight glow. Also reminds me of the subtle kind of glow of the Prada eyeshadow palette, and also the subtle glow of the Hourglass Dim Light. I think it's the finish I love the most. You can see the glow. It's very subtle. Like, you really have to look closely to see how it catches the light. It's beautiful. So the application on this is very even. It's very smooth going on. Always does something to add to my makeup and not distract from it. So that's why I pull for that one. I have so many blushes, like so many blushes, and that is the one that I continue to go back to time and time again. Then you'll see it's a little bit enhanced. I love to add a little cream blush on top so that you can have a little bit of glow to the texture. I also have something glowy on top of that, but this does such a nice job just giving a pop of color. So this one's a little bit more intense. This one is Dior. So many of you love this one as well. This is an 012 Rosewood. And you can see it's got a little bit more of a pinky tone to it than Valentino's 09. But this is, again, 012 Rosewood. This is what the blush looks like. It looks like a giant lipstick that they have. They have the lip products that look similar to this. This one is larger than that. And you can see here the colors next to each other, and I'll show you a close-up as well. You can see how lovely those two colors are together. And then we have highlighter. I don't love highlighter. I don't love foundation. I don't love highlighter. But I found foundations that I do enjoy, and I found a few highlighters that I do enjoy. And the reason I don't love highlighter is because it can emphasize texture. Like, we're all about trying to make the texture look smoother and prettier and more glowy, and then powder highlighter sometimes makes it look worse, so I don't want to add highlighter after, again, I've done all that work and then add a highlighter to, like, okay, that did not help. So I look for something with some moisture to it and not too much glow. So while I love the Transparent Balm by Chanel, I think that's really beautiful, I still do like a little bit of glow. If I'm using a highlighter, I want a little bit of glow. And this one is beautiful. It's been a favorite in the past as well. This one is by Victoria Beckham, and this one is in Pearl. You'll see the very slight glow that it provides because of the texture and because of these very soft glow particles that are in it. And I love the packaging too. Pearl is the name. And then you can see there the glow. It's got a reflective quality because of the texture, the composition. That's got some soft glow particles. It's stunning. And then you can see the glow there as well. So I have it down the bridge of my nose very slightly, and then on the high points of my cheeks. And this is pretty on bare skin as well. Oh, I forgot to mention, under the eyes, I still use the Victoria Beckham, This is their eyewear in Trech. I use it under the eye. I don't know if I explain every time I apply this, but I do get redness right under my eyes. I don't know why. It has been like that for as long as I can remember. So I like to cancel that out, and the reason why concealer doesn't do the best job is because it will still gather. In these diagonal lines there's some moisture, so concealer will move. This is more of a drier consistency, more dry than even the Clé de Peau. And so this is what I apply under that under eye area. But you can see there it's very close to my skin tone, which is why it works. For mascara, I've tried out some lovely mascaras. I really enjoy the Le Volume mascara by Chanel. I'm so glad I found a Chanel mascara that I love because I didn't love any until that point. Also, the Givenchy mascara is beautiful. I really enjoyed that one. This one really continued to rise above those because it's so consistent. It builds beautifully. It looks pretty every time. I can really get the most out of my lashes with this particular mascara because it allows me to build up without clumping, and it builds up easily as well. Some of the other mascaras take a little bit longer. This is a Faux Longest Lash by Chantecaille, and this is the one with the waves. So that way you know it's the Faux Longest Lash. Both of the mascaras by Chantecaille work really well. Mascaras really make a difference on my makeup. I know everyone doesn't love mascara, but I do. So for mascara lovers, I hope that you've had a chance to try it. It's beautiful. Then for lips, I had a few products on during the Get Ready With Me. So I started with this because I love a no makeup look. We know that. And if I don't want to add lipstick, I do want hydration, and I do want just a hint of color. So it's the Sisley product. This is in 2 Pink Glow. It looks like this. It's refillable. This is my second one. So I am able to remove this somehow and then replace it with a new one, which is what I did. So this is my second one. I kept the case. I love that you don't have to buy a new case every time. I'm going to swatch this, but it's really hard to see because it really has to react to the pH here. And so in the Get Ready With Me, I start off with this. So you'll be able to see it gives a slight pink glow. It's really pretty. Then I have a daytime or a more Your Lips But Better color. This one is by Victoria Beckham. I think this is best Your Lips But Better. Yeah, Your Lips But Better color on me that I've ever found. And I have loved this for years. This is in Spark. And I love the shape of this lipstick. I love the size. It's easy to apply. I hope they never discontinue this because I have some close ones, but really this one is so pretty. And I love the formulation too. It's hydrating, very flattering lip shade. So this is what it looks like, but I'll show you an up close swatch of all 3 of them. This again is by Victoria Beckham in the shade Spark. This is what it looks like. Finally, we have this lip, which has been impressive since I tried it. And the more and more I tried it, the more impressed I became with it. It doesn't emphasize lines in my lips. It's really easy to apply. It glides on smoothly, has lots of hydration. It's a stunning color. I love that it's neither too cool nor too warm. It's a really great red. Actually, I like the other colors I have as well. Anemone is the other one I like, which was featured in my Your Lips But Better finalists. I think I had 3 there, but this one is stunning. So this one is by Chantecaille. It is their lip creme. It is new this year to them, and this is in Red Lily. And this is the one that I saw had sold out. I think it's back in stock, but it's just a beautiful color. Let me know if you picked it up because I know a lot of people wanted to try this. Here is the packaging. This is aluminum, so it's recyclable. And it has the elephants on there. So it's got a philanthropy attached to it. The Sisley 2 Pink Glow. This is Victoria Beckham's Spark. And this is Chantecaille's Red Lily. You can see it leaves a little stain behind there. I'm using a makeup remover here, which is working really well. I don't really use micellar waters as much on my face, but I do use them for swatches. And this is the one I've been using. I'll show you in a minute here. I've been using this one by L'Occitane. They sent this to me and I've been using this in, gosh, maybe my last month or so videos using this to help remove swatches from my hands. So works really well if you were curious about this. And then finally, fragrance. As you know, I've been learning all about fragrances this year, especially these Chanel fragrances. What a great collection to learn about fragrance with, because these are some of the most beautiful fragrances I've ever tested. I didn't wear fragrance for a long time because most of them I was very sensitive to. They were too overwhelming or too much floral or something that gave me a headache. I don't know enough about how to manufacture fragrance to say why that's the case. Maybe let me know. Could be something in my mind about these being Chanel fragrances and that's why it's not happening. Let me know if you know about manufacturing of fragrances, but I do not get that with these Les Exclusives fragrances. I really loved beige for a long time. I loved beige. Then I've been trying Sycamore. That was really beautiful as well. I have not gotten to all of them yet. I really need to wear them for a long time to learn about them, see how much I love them, see what situations I love them in. I picked one that is lovely in pretty much every situation because it's understated. It doesn't have overwhelming notes to it. That's a deterrent for me. That's all I can smell. So this one really settles into my skin. You lean in closely and you can smell it. But it's not like I enter the room and my fragrance goes before me. It's not that kind of fragrance. That is not the kind of fragrance I want to wear. I want it to be something that you kind of have to lean in to smell. So I just do one little spray. It smells clean. That is one of the key elements I love in a fragrance. I want it to smell clean. I want it to smell classic. I want it to not smell like everybody else. An elegant fragrance, something simple. And this one has notes of bergamot. That is one of my favorite fragrance notes. Anything that I love, I look at the notes and I think, does this have bergamot? And usually it does. I also love a water element, and I think you get that from flowers that have like a thicker stem that when you cut it, you can see a lot of water in there, and that's iris. This one has an iris note in this case, and there's also a cedar element here. I love a woodsy note, but not overwhelming. And then you have some jasmine neroli, but not overwhelming. I think jasmine can be too much sometimes, but in this case, it's not. It's very well balanced. And a lot of you love this as well. I remembered you were asking, you wanted me to try a Les Exclusives that had numbers. And I noticed there were a couple of them. There was 1932 and then there's 1957. I have not gotten to 1932 to really try it out. So this one though is beautiful. It's 1957 and all of those things that I just described, it is understated elegance. I feel like this one really represents me. So I can wear this anytime during the day, goes into evening really well, and it's just never too much. I feel like that's part of my personality. I don't want to be an overwhelming person, and I feel like this is not an overwhelming perfume. Okay, before I go, because I say that these products look better over time, it's been maybe a couple of hours since I first applied this makeup because I go through the get ready with me. The first thing that goes on in a get ready with me is a base product. So this has been on my face for the longest amount of time. Then I do eyes, etc., etc. In between, I'll take a little break and then I sit down and I film this part, which can take a long time sometimes, or I'll do my hair in between. So this makeup looks better than when I initially applied it. So let me lean in here because I'll show you a close-up in the get ready with me so you can see, but I think it looks better now after a couple of hours of wear. And that's what tells me that these are really lovely products. They look better with wear. You can see how everything is blended so seamlessly, easily, and it did not take a lot of work, especially the concealers and that blush. And then the eye, just effortless makeup. And do let us know, what were your favorites of 2025? Was there anything new that popped up, like that Prada palette that popped up for me, something unexpected? We would love to know. Please leave those in the comment section below. The next video, I think will be, like I said, in a couple of days, and I think there might be some shorts in between. So if you'd like to see what we're up to during this time of the year, tune into those shorts. Hopefully I'll be posting a little bit. And again, from my family to yours, wishing you a very Merry Christmas. That is it for today's video, so please take care of each other, stay well. If you enjoyed this video, if you learned something, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and I will see you next time. That's why that's really important to me. That's why it's really important to me. This, it's not this, this is the blush. So side by side here, okay. Cannot hold two at one time.